Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world. It sounds okay right now.
So we can play with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, perfect. We'll see how it goes. So we
Yeah.
can play with this tonight because I think our lovely Simrit, who's hopefully joining us pretty soon, I think she thinks this is a live recording.
Okay.
So I think she's actually a little nervous about it. So I don't know. Do we need to tell her? I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know where to go with that. My inclination is if someone's nervous, is just making more nervous.
Yeah, make it
that's
worse.
Probably not very nice. Yeah,
we're troublemakers of the same kind.
Yeah, and
really.
she's pretty sweet, so I don't know if I have the heart to do it to her or not.
Yeah. Oh man.
So how's things?
Good. Things are good. Yeah, things are okay actually. I was gonna say things are busy. That's my automatic response, but no, not really. Things are good.
Dude.
Things are. Yeah, it's kind of
like
flowing.
Time here and there, Phil. I find time.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I mean, I'm working. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but I'm spending a shitload of time eBaying it, looking at coins, bidding. Look, I've just gone mental. I'm loving it, man. I'm thinking, you know what I love to do? I think I should work 4 days a week and 1 day just hunt. Like I put an ad back on Kijiji looking for coin collections, Canadian coin collections and stuff like that. I think I'm going to do a Craigslist listing. And I mean, not that that's going to necessarily do anything because there's 5,000 people looking for shit like that.
It's okay.
But you know what? Private collector.
It's fun stuff, man. It's fun stuff.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the hobby. I like that aspect of it. So for me, it's a hoot. So I'm all over it. So I'm kind of liking this gig.
I like it, right? Like I've had a ton of time to cook. Like I've been, I made beef Wellington this week. Never made it before. Made everything from scratch. You know, it went great. Went really great. You know, it was just fun. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing stuff that's really fun, and I'm still putting in time. I think I'm fresher. I'm sharper. You know, the information I'm giving out is better, I think. You know what I mean? Like all of it's just
I
good,
totally understand what you're saying. I think I'm better at doing what I'm doing right now because I'm not as stressed out. Not that I'm spending, and I'm probably spending more time with 2 clients versus anything else. But I'm still got a shitload of time for me, which I'm always going to come back to because that's the fun part. Absolutely.
Yeah, the noggin's going, right? Like before you try and swallow up all this business and it's like you go from one thing to another and it's not like you're not giving them the right answers, but a lot of it is reflex, right? It's like business reflexes.
It's total reflex.
You know, but now, yeah.
I'm a little more thoughtful maybe with what I'm thinking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I'm thinking the exact same thing. I just kind of, I don't know, man, I'm kind of liking this.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Good episode last week.
Yeah, great
episode last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool, Arjun, though. Like, he really is. He's such a nice guy, too.
So I love the cereal.
So it's kind of nice.
I bought the cereal. I think I'm on my second box of the cereal.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
No, it's all good. Where is she? She's on, but she's got no video.
No, she's just connecting to audio. So give her a second. Yeah.
Give her a second. She's already 5 minutes late. How much time do you want to give her? Hey, we got an audience waiting.
Oh, look what you did. You scared her away now.
Scared her off already.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez. What a chicken.
Shit. Wait, what did she... Wait, what?
I can't get on.
Yeah, she asked for the password. 1 second. Let me just send this to her. It's in the invite. But
mine didn't ask for the password this time. Does it save it?
I think that it depends. If you're verified,
Oh, I'm
like if you're verified, then it doesn't. But hold on 1 second. Apply. Okay, so she'll be on in a second. I think. Yeah, but otherwise it's going great. It's doing. I'm doing a lot of marketing ops stuff, so I'm doing a chunk of stuff. Just helping brands sort themselves out, how they talk about things. Doing some Google ads, which I think I talked about last time, but we're doing great. Like the ads are great. Hi, Simrit.
That's cool. She's video. Turn the video on.
It's okay.
No, that's what we need with gears now. That's not. We don't have to be nice.
Hey, Simrit, can you hear us? Oh, nope.
I lost her again.
Yeah, I think so.
This is going to be like a Korean episode.
I think so. Yeah. So I've been so working through marketing ops, helping. I guess I don't appreciate how much I understand about, so somebody, I've run into it a bunch of times, but the BDC, helps brands kind of figure out what their marketing path is. And a brand showed up on my doorstep and went, "We have this plan. We don't know what we're supposed to do with this plan."
That's funny.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, no, this is great. Do you want to just do this?" And they're like, "Yeah, I want to do this." So, hang on a second. That's my pooch. Let me see if I just grab her. Maybe I can. Otherwise, she's gonna bark all the way through the show. Rachel, you okay?
That's fine. Maybe she just wants to be picked up.
Yeah. Do you want me to take her or no? Yeah. Oh, maybe close the front window. Close the front window. The noise is probably getting to her. Sorry, Kenny. How's your dog search going?
I just talked to Carol about it today.
Yeah.
I will not show my face. She's got just. It's only she was. Okay, I'm not going to repeat it. I don't want to repeat it yet. We'll see how bad she gets. It's only me and Phil. Fuck. Man. Poor girl has got no concept what the podcast is about. Like I don't even think she's listened to it. Honestly.
Poor lady.
Lord in heaven.
Poor lady.
The dog hunt I think is good. I think we're on a couple lists. I don't know. I don't know how this all works.
Okay.
All I know this is going to cost me money. And you know what I'm worried about more than anything now? Now I'm thinking, okay, well, I guess you can take a dog. Yeah, I guess you can travel with a dog, right? I'm not a pet person per se.
Kind of, sort of.
Well, we wanted to go away first sort of week, just before the Labor Day weekend. So if we get a dog before that, is that gonna screw up my holiday thing? Because I'm already not liking that. Really?
Yeah, because it's the first 4 weeks. Yeah. Hi.
Hey, we've got millions of people waiting for you. Millions. Where the hell you been? We've been telling the audience for the last 8 minutes. Okay, we're not too sure what's happening with her. Hope she's okay.
Oh no!
I thought
you can tell her the truth, Phil. You can tell her the truth.
You want to tell me the truth?
It's just the two of us.
This gets recorded tonight, and we post Monday night.
Yeah. We record tonight, and then we post Monday.
I'm like, I can't believe that, and Ken knows. I'm like, I can't look like this. Then I saw the Zoom, and I thought, podcast. Why would I need to look? Oh yeah, I was
panicking. We'd like to see you.
Yeah, okay.
I want to see you on it because I don't want to just see the stupid microphone part. I want to see you. I haven't seen you in ages.
So Kenny in his collar shirt is probably the nicest I've ever seen Kenny dress for a podcast ever.
Flower things on.
I'm not even sure I've ever seen him in a collar shirt ever.
Listen, Phil, I dress nicer for Kenny, and I'm wearing my yoga gear. Okay, so this is not.
Have you ever seen me in anything but a t-shirt?
That's funny.
Either of you. I never dress up.
I know.
Never dress up.
You always look cool, Kenny. You always look cool.
Oh, you're just too
That
sweet.
is true.
You're full of shit.
True.
That's fine.
Got that trendy hipster kind of thing going on.
Yeah. Okay. That's
laughing.
fine. All right. Let's talk about something else. Let's go next.
I love this. So every time you give Kenny a compliment, he
whatever. Come on.
Doesn't know what to do. He's got to move on. He can't
Yeah.
Great.
Let's talk about something else. Jeez Louise.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
So welcome, listeners. We have Simrit Olek on today, and Kenny, do you want to do intros?
I can do intros. Simrit's going to do a better job when she picks up on it.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out how this is consistent with me. I never remember how I meet people or how long. Simrit, I think I do know. I think it's been about 2 years. She has a cool product line that she's going to describe to us in a second. But what I really liked about Simrit was that a mom, a teacher, entrepreneurial, I'd say ADD on a good day, love her to bits though, because she's got energy that's sometimes out of control. But a wonderful human being. And I really, really am glad that I got a chance to meet her. So we talked about, we were distributing her product for a little bit, and then she's moved on to bigger and better. But that's sort of the Simrit story with me. So Simrit, you can just give us an idea of what you do, who you are,
welcome.
What's going on in your world.
Well, first I want to thank you for inviting me to your guys' podcast. I really appreciate it.
Dragging you on.
No, it's my first
They're dragging you onto the show. Holy.
You had to. I'm I'm great in person, but put me in front of on a mic or in front of the TV, I kind of freeze up. So I'm hoping this goes.
Just the two of us. It's it.
All right.
It's just us. Yeah, it's all good.
Remember the coffee bar.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I met.
Except I won't yell at you.
I think we met at La Grota, actually. My first meeting. First time I met you was there.
I think so, but that's okay. I'll let you have that. I think it was the coffee bar.
Was it the coffee bar?
I'm pretty sure.
And I think Phil, he took pity on me. He met me. A lot of questions were being asked, and he knew I was all over the map. A few years ago, he just looked at and thought, "Oh my gosh, she has no idea what she's about to get involved in." I thought I had the product, and I thought that's all I needed. And Kenny picked up very quickly that there's way more to this building a small business than just here's my product, and and obviously everybody's going to take it, right? Which isn't the case. So there's a lot more.
Who
There's a few things to do in between. Yeah.
In between, I missed a whole step.
That's amazing.
Kenny's been my mentor, actually. He's mentored me for the last 2 years. And Kenny, I think it was even before 2 years. I think it was about 3 years now, because 2020.
Listen, just cut me some slack. I'm lucky to remember that much.
Yeah, so I think it's been a good 3 years. And thank God, my good fortune that he came into my life and he was able to mentor me and really kind of bring me down to earth sometimes, because I had a lot of ideas and was going all over the map. But and introduced me to some really cool people in the industry along the way. And I have to give a shout out to Preen at Salud.
She's another awesome one, right?
She is amazing.
Yeah, I love her too.
I brought some calmness and some to me. Yeah.
Wait, so you and you run Treatsmarts. So how long were you in business before you met Kenny?
Maybe a few months. I don't know. Maybe 8 months.
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was really a quick 15 minutes, but it was about 8 months, I would say, because after my first PO, I didn't really get anything after that.
Okay.
Kenny met me. So I started in 2016, and at home in the kitchen.
So why don't you tell us what you do? What are Treatsmarts? What do you do? So I didn't introduce your product line yet.
Okay, wait. Okay, so I just want to say, so Simrit, you're going to get into this. I'm fascinated already because I just went to the website and you are everywhere. You're Whole Foods, 7-Eleven, Buy Low, I know Donald's, City Avenue Spuds,
She's done
Winners,
well for
Home
herself.
Sense,
Like,
Marshalls,
it's a good thing. Yeah,
Farm to Table.
not bad.
This is like, to be in business for 15 minutes and be in all these accounts is pretty amazing. Wow. Okay. I wanted to put that out there because I think one of the things that's just been so incredible is we've talked to kind of these brands that have just rocket shipped their way up, and you're the same. Like, look at all these retailers that have thrown in with you. So that's amazing. So sorry to interrupt. I just thought for the listeners who might be curious, that kind of a big qualifier. So please continue. What do you do?
So thanks for that. So I started in 2016. Treatsmarts is basically clean line, clean eating. And it was started with one signature bite from home. And I really started making it at home with the kids. And it's gluten-free, natural, little or no sodium in my products. Some of it's vegan, some of it's nut-free. And they're just clean eating. It's just little bites and cookies that I started about 3 years ago. And it's really for people who just don't have the time to make them at home, but want something that has the same taste and quality of home baking, but it's packaged instead. There's no additives, no preservatives, no additional flavors. It's just very clean eating for the active lifestyle, basically. As you can tell, I just came back from yoga. Yeah.
It's awesome.
So why start this though?
Awesome.
So what was the inspiration to get this thing going? Describe really what it is. Like, what is it, and what was what started this little adventure of yours?
Okay, so now if I talk too much, Kenny, just interject.
Just light it up.
Okay, I'm about to. Here we go.
Light it up. Like, stage is yours, baby.
Simrit's ready to do the cliff diving, and Kenny's like prodding her right to the end.
Push her off, man. Push her off.
If I go off, I'm going to stop. But I'm trying to be. Okay, I guess my story back to 2016. So I have to go back to that. I got invited to the gluten-free expo. So a friend was there. He had a booth, and I just went in with some bites. That's what it started off with. And right before that, about a few months before, I come from a large family. So there's 6 siblings, 5 of us. No, 6 of us. Okay. I have 5 siblings. And out of the 5, I think almost 4 got diagnosed with celiac in the last few years. So shortly before when all this started. Yeah. So we had to start changing our eating habits because we get together a lot. We're an Indian family. We like getting together as a family and celebrating a lot of good stuff. But we also like to cook and bake in my family.
Yeah.
So what happened was, these bites, I started making these bites. I started making cupcakes. I always thought I was going to go into business for these. I thought they're the best. This chocolate cake I used to make, this quinoa chocolate cake. And that's where I thought I was heading. I started making the bites, got invited to the Gluten-Free Expo in January of 2016. I'll slow down a bit. And at that time, I was just with a friend, and I thought, you know what, here's some gluten-free products. It'd be fun. There was no Treatsmarts. I had no intention of going into business. I was teaching. I'm a mom. I was just having fun. It was just like, this is really cool. So I ended up having at the booth, and when I say there's no packaging or anything. So at the booth, people started sampling at the Gluten-Free Expo, and some of the samplers were retailers. And London Drugs was one at that time. And I can I use names?
Sure.
Companies?
You can use whatever you want.
Okay, I can. I'm not really sure how this works.
So,
yeah.
So I'm going to say 7-Eleven at that time and London Drugs. And now, to me, someone who's literally nobody, right, in all of this, I thought, this is so cool. I can't believe you like these. So one thing led to another. I came home that night and I'm like, wow, I could start something. So my friends started saying, you should go into business. I had nothing. I think London Drugs might be interested, etc. And I said, you know what, maybe I should just start something at home. Literally, I teach during the day, had the kids. And in the evenings, I started Googling. And I started Googling names. I thought Street Smart, Eat Smart, Treat Smart. Came up with Treat Smart really overnight. Kind of put that in. And without the minute that they showed interest, London Drugs, I have to start with them, is I'm hoping that they take my product in the future again. but they were the first PO. And I had to create packaging. I was so excited and so novice and new at this. And this is what Kenny would probably figure it out is I bought 30,000 bags thinking this is it. This is it. This is how business starts overnight. You know, you just go in, you know, go with both feet. I just kind of jumped right in. I bought 30,000 bags with no business plan. I didn't even know what a business plan was. All I knew was somebody showed me. I went with there was an interest. So I came up with a company name. I'm like, okay, I have a name now. All I need is some bags, and that's it. It's good as gold.
Let's go.
I didn't know who was making them really at this point either. So I jumped in, got the 30,000 bags. They're coming, ordering all of them. They did take my first order. It was literally, I have PTSD from that actually. I'm sure I do. I didn't know what I'd got myself
30,000 bags.
No, I did. I went through hell and back. It was difficult. And then I had all this 30,000 bags, but no idea. And then my friend was able to get me the first order through London Drugs. And I thought, oh my God, this is the best news ever. I took on the PO and I had no idea really how this was all going to play out. I know, I also ordered a ball making machine too. Because I was going into business now. So now I had a ball making coming out of the country at customs, okay, basically, because I said to London Drugs, I need a few weeks to put this all together. I watched the movie. What's that movie with Joy in it? What's her name? Oh, you guys know. She never said no to the first business. Anyways, I watched this ridiculous movie that someone said, you can be the next Joy, that movie. Anyways, it'll come to me. And I said, you know what? She never said no. So I kind of started following in those footsteps. I'm just I can do this. Ordered the machine, didn't know how to work it, didn't have a staff, but had a facility that we could do it in. Took the order. It was snowing. I remember it snowed so much that weekend. And so I taught Monday to Friday. My school staff had no idea what I jumped into. My friends had no idea, neither did my family. And I thought, you know what? This is just cool enough for me. This is my own story. And I'm still going to be a success, whether for me, I'm like, and I don't need to tell anybody about it. It's okay. So we did it. I took the order. It was I remember it snowed so much. I worked 12 hours a day. I didn't even know how to weigh the peanut butter. I'm sure some bites had too much peanut butter. Others had too much honey. Some had more flax than others, and walnuts and almonds. I don't know. I was picking up. It was crazy. So these went out. I failed and I didn't know if you don't fulfill a PO, all of them, they can actually fine you because they've already started advertising it. So after the first weekend, I was to tears and I told my friend, I can't do it. I'm out. You know, I really appreciate this. It's good. I'll take the loss. He goes, you can't. You have to fulfill this order. So Monday I went back to work. Friday I taught Friday afternoon to Sunday night, 12 hours, and it was snowing. And all I kept hearing on the radio, don't go on the roads. We're snow weekend, slippery roads. If you don't have to be out, don't be out. So
you're like, I have to be out. I gotta go make these things.
I have
Treatsmarts for the people.
Oh, you have no idea. And I was working with these two older women that were just, kind of volunteers, sort of, not really, but they were. And they helped me make it. And they were so worried about my mental state that they were praying. They were literally doing prayers every time morning. They're like, don't worry, God, we're praying for you. I'm like, I got to do this. So I'd always
stop praying and make some bites. Like, oh my God.
Start, and I was like, oh my God. I'd come home. My back was hurting. And it was just the machine we finally got going. And it was filled that order. No disrespect to absolutely London Drugs. So thank you very much. But I wasn't able to fill another order after that because it was just, I realized what I got myself into. But I made that mistake quite a few times. And then from there, I walked into the CHFA show. I didn't have a booth. I walked in, threw some Treatsmarts because I had 30,000 bags, remember? So I threw them in a big duffel bag, walked around, and I ran into some buyers. And one of them was, I have no idea what I'm supposed to, I won't use names, but the buyer from Whole Foods.
You can use names if you want. It's not a big deal. Whatever you want to do.
It doesn't matter.
Richard,
honestly, it doesn't matter.
Shout out to Richard.
Rich is an awesome guy. Rich is a nice guy. He's a really nice guy.
For me, a huge shout out because he's the one, he doesn't realize that by supporting local, and supporting me throughout my journey as even till today has meant so much and kept me going, because I'm like, oh my God, you actually believe in me, because it's not easy. I've had challenges, I've had tears and sweat and hardships and smiles and joys along the way, but that one really, he invited me that night because I threw one in his bag. Like, oh, I'm Simrit, it's just mom at home and I started this business, and he invited me that night to meet and greet or something at Whole Foods. So the following week I went there and I met Jill from Fatso, Fatso Peanut Butter. So her and I were the last to be interviewed. I went in as a joke. I dressed up, okay, and not realizing that no one really dresses up to this, but I dressed up and went in.
CHFA, man.
Yeah,
it's all hippies.
No, this is a week later to the meet and greet at Whole Foods.
It's Whole Foods. They're more hippies.
Oh,
look at Richard.
Oh my God, you're right, Kenny. It was totally like that. But I didn't. I went in like, this is a business. Like, this is it, right? I'm going to go in business. I went and, oh my goodness. When I walked in, I was like, oh my God, nobody else. Like, everybody. So they had a meet and greet, local ones all throughout BC. So he invited me. I went in. I was a second to last. I went in as a joke. I have a picture of myself during that day because I thought, this is the time I finally get to tell my family and my friends, oh my God, you guys, look what happened to me. Isn't this a hilarious story? To this point, I hadn't said anything to anybody. I'm thinking, you know what? This is all fun, because I was just it was such a thrilling feeling, like, oh my God, this is so cool. So then went there, and a lot of people were coming back upset because they told you right away. And I thought, well, I'm just here for fun. So I talked to everybody. I met Jill there. That's why I used her name, because we were laughing and talking. She was the last person. I went in and I didn't know some of the questions that they were asking me because I didn't understand all of the distribution pieces to the puzzle. I just went in and kind of presented myself the best I could. And they asked me to, basically pointed at me to follow kind of the next table. And I thought, oh, okay, I sign out. And I sat there and I said, I don't really know what I'm doing here. She goes, oh, you made it to the next level. So they accepted me. And I said, what? She goes, yeah. She goes, that means they must have liked. I was so touched. And I thought, oh my God. But guess what happened? They said yes. I walked out, had this feeling of elation. I told nobody.
Yeah.
I didn't tell one friend, and I didn't tell any of my family members. And I thought, oh my God, I was supposed to tell them when it didn't happen, not when it did happen.
Why didn't you tell
anybody?
Because I didn't think it was just fun, and it was a hobby, and I like baking, and it was just supposed to be fun. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh wow, I guess I have to take it to the next, and I have to see it through.
I'm legit now. What the heck's going on here?
And for me, Phil, honestly, it was a success. To me, it was a big. And I didn't want anyone to ask me, oh, did you actually make it on the shelf? It never mattered to me. It was just someone believed in it. Like, wow, thank you so much. So anyways, and then the story it's a long story. I can go on forever.
It's fine. So what happened? So Richard sees the product that day. So Richard's all excited. You're excited. So what happens?
Richard doesn't see it. CHFA invites me, and then I talk to their staff there, and they like me, and they like the product. So I get called back. So they start sending me paperwork. Okay, remember, I don't know anything about paperwork, right? So I get these emails and all these questions. I have no idea if I understand them. I had no clue what some of the terminology meant. I struggled. I looked at it and I thought, oh my God, what do I do with all of this now? Like, do they have any idea who they're speaking to? I may have presented myself with a business look, but I really couldn't fill out the paperwork. So I had to call few people here and there, like, and I didn't want to call one person because I didn't want them to know that I really knew nothing. So I called a number of people and asked different questions. Oh, just
spread it out.
Like, what exactly does this mean? So one person wouldn't figure out, but she has no clue. Kenny figured me out the first time. He figured me out the first time. So then the sad thing is, by the time I was getting it through in June, so this is all very new, right? So February was the first time I got into London Drugs. And then Whole Foods, and then Whole Foods was my next lifeline. And then my son got sick. All of a sudden, like on a Sunday night, we were out for dinner, great weekend, went to bed, started screaming and crying, went to his room, he says, my leg hurts, and looked at his leg, started swelling, and then couldn't move his neck. And I'm telling you, this all happened within 15, 20 minutes. We put him together. Yeah. And
holy crap.
My life changed for a good 3 months then from there. It ended up being a strep A, really bad strep A, ended up in children's hospital. That went really bad, but everything's good. Everything turned out, he's 100% fine, but it was very scary. And as a mom, and then who had a job, full-time job, and then who was starting to start a small business because I got excited about something that I had ownership over. You know, it was a passion for me. And then trying to be a wife, and then a family member to my big family. It was hard to swallow. It was hard because you ask yourself, did I miss something in the excitement of the last few weeks or last month?
Yeah. Was I just not paying attention? All of those sort of things.
Yes. So that was difficult for me. And I left it all. I dropped it. I never got back to Richard or Whole Foods. I just kind of like let it go. September came. My son was good. And I just reached out to him again, and he gave me another chance. And he heard me. And so they gave me a chance, and they put it on the shelf. And then from that, the story from there.
So what time frame is this? So what year? We're in 2017 now, or still
2017 now? Definitely 2017.
So 2017, and it's Richard Williams at Whole Foods, who's the sweetheart that we all like, because Richard's a really nice guy.
I've got to echo what you said. I don't know Richard, but I think the supporting small business
huge
is such a critical component. Like, because for every brand that we've had on this show where we've heard some amazing stories, we've equally heard, I've been at this, I like took me 18 months, it took me 2 years, I've called and I can't get a buyer to call me back.
Nobody's giving me a
story,
chance.
Right? Like that story happens a lot, right? And
more than this one.
And sadly enough, right? Like brands will burn out because they just can't get the orders that they need. They can't scratch out an existence long enough to make it somewhere, where they can get distribution. So I just think it's amazing. Like I think, retailers that are looking local, Kenny in his heyday, this Richard guy, Whole Foods, like I just think it just goes so far. It's amazing, right? Like, the work you're putting in, the excitement, the passion is there. But without that partnership, it just, it's so much harder to path, right? Like you think of how hard you've had it already. It's so much harder without that other half, right? So I think it's amazing. That's so fantastic. That's
why your story is always fascinating, because it's not normal. Most people try and try and try and try. First off, nobody does what you did. I mean, I don't know how many times I've yelled at you for doing things.
You have yelled at me many times.
Nobody does it the way you don't get chances like that. And honestly, like Richard's a really good guy, because Whole Foods, especially that they're still allowed to be sort of localized here and in Toronto, is a good account for that. Choices does that. London Drugs does that. Buy Low does that. Save On will do that. You're lucky that there are people out there who give a shit and will give, small time people a chance. And you didn't know a lot of stuff. I mean, you're very honest about it, but you did it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have to be honest about it, because
it is what it is, right?
It is the truth.
So what happens now? So you've got 30,000 packages. You've probably burned about 1,000 with London Drugs. You got about 29,000 left, less the samples you gave away at CHFA.
Oh,
so
yeah.
What are you doing now?
28,000. I remember I made up the package on my own at nighttime. I created it myself. I had no idea what nutritional NFT was. I had no idea what to put on a package. Okay.
So just put a pretty picture?
Listen, the window was too small. I had no idea what to type, package. I didn't know you couldn't make claims. You had to have, on a claim. Okay?
Oh, God bless you. I swear to God.
So that package did not last. Okay. It did not last. Okay. So since then, my package, of course, what you see now is completely
it's beautiful.
New and improved. Yeah. I have 20,000. I have 1,000 in my garage still left. I dumped a bunch in the garbage. I kept 1,000. I'm like, I just can't throw them away yet. I'm like, no, I just.
Are those the old black ones?
You use them to pack the kids' lunches in them.
I know, right?
Start storing cables and. Maybe you should use them as gift bags. Maybe
I would make handbags.
Yeah, right. I should. Darn it. No, we got rid of 1,000. So there's some. Yeah, we got rid of them. We recycled a bunch of them. Yeah. Good to mind. I started.
Okay.
On your little journey here, so you've got so the London Drugs, you get a PO, it goes, and that's it for that one. Yeah. Whole Foods now takes a PO.
Took the PO.
You fill the PO, stay in the old bags.
Yeah.
So then what happens with this?
The next mistake or the next thing I learned.
Sure. You know what? All the mistakes you're making, there's going to be people listening thinking, oh, what? Nutritional what? Like what panel?
Wait, so the PO that you filled, was that for a single flavor, or were you kind of making multiple flavors?
So I started off with one. I only had one, the Power Bites, Treatsmart Power Bites.
Okay.
And to me, I threw everything in but the kitchen sink in those. So there's like, and I say this because I think there's really good, everything that I had at home. Sorry, it's like quinoa, flax, chia, hemp, peanut butter, honey, rolled oats, a little bit of dark chocolate, almonds, walnuts. So we make those at home. That was my first one. So that's my signature one. Since about a year and a half, there's vegan date bites and there's cookie minis. But the first one was that everybody took was the Power Bites, were the ones, even with 7-Eleven, which has been really good to me as well. I bit off more than I could chew. Similar mistake to London Drugs, except for 7-Eleven, I'm back in. 7-Eleven has been really good to me. But I remember I took on all across Canada. Same thing. I'm like, I can do it. I didn't learn the first time, obviously. And I ordered this time, I ordered 20,000 cups. Phil, you're going to kill yourself. I ordered 20,000 cups.
Oh my God, you're
I'm like, this is it. It's okay if I made a mistake on the London Drug packaging. You know, this time I ordered 20,000 cups. Oh no, I had to auction them off too. But I took 20,000 cups.
Wait. And so are you making this? Are you making this in your house, or you've got a facility to work at?
No, there was a common. Okay. So London Drugs, I did myself. Learned the hard way. Then I found I have a co-packer, that's been really good to me. In fact, after the London Drugs, I needed to get out. I thought I was getting out. I needed to sell my machine. Apparently, I was the first person that had the ball making machine in BC. I had no idea.
Good
So
for
the
you.
bites were, you're laughing, Phil, but the bites didn't exist. I could have been bigger. I had no idea. So I sold them the machine. I'm like, look, I can't do this. You have the whole facility. You have the staff. So, but the only, please caveat is, make them for me whenever I need them. Yeah, make them for me whenever I need them. And that
if it makes you feel better. So I'm not allowed to say, because she won't let me, she will literally kill me. But there's a lady here in Ontario that not only bought the ball making machine, but she bought the industrial mixer, and she bought the crimper for the top of the packaging. You know, the really sealer, and she bought all three. And I the meeting that you had with Kenny, I imagine I had a similar meeting, because she told me this, and she was so proud, because she said to me, I bought them and I paid for them all. And I was like, I was dying, right? Because I was like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? You didn't finance it? She's like, I wouldn't finance those. And I was like, no, you're. And then she was like, I don't have any money for ingredients. I'm like, I know, because you spent it on those. She's like, yeah. So it makes you feel better. She bought all three. So
no, I sold my machine. I'm like, I can't do this. You know,
that's amazing.
I came up with less than $100 after that London Drugs order, after I realized all the mistakes I made. Like, I made nothing. And it wasn't even about that. It was just about it made me feel good to see my product on the shelf. And the only reason I ever found out, my brother saw it, because I posted some for my family, and he put it on Facebook. And it's the first time I had to come to terms, like, wow, I guess I have a little small business. Like, I have something. Yeah. 7-Eleven. No, I did the same thing. I went in and I contacted them. So Kenny is right in the sense that I made a lot of calls. I've calmed down, Kenny. You'd be happy to know.
That's why we put Kareen into the way.
My own calls all the time, and I'd pick up the phone or I'd meet them, or I'd just, like I said, throw up something in someone's bag somewhere and walk away. I'm like, yeah, okay, just try it and let me know. And then I'd follow up. But 7-Eleven, same thing. I remember thinking, oh, no problem. I'll take it all. I'll take the whole across Canada. Not realizing there's 500 stores, 500 stores. And that one, oh yeah, similar thing, but they've been good to me. They're awesome. They've have my little bites in 42 grams now, after they gave me a year to sort myself out. And then they allowed me another second chance.
Okay. Yeah, these look great. I mean,
the product's fantastic. Just, like honestly, the product is fantastic. Which is probably why I kept seeing Simrit, because I think first off, you can tell she's got a contagious personality. There's no kidding why people wouldn't pull her out, right?
Yeah.
Lovely to talk to, highly energetic.
Yeah.
So I get it. It's just she's a typical frustrating entrepreneur. You know, the one that frustrates the hell out of you, Phil? She's one of those. You know, where it's just all over the place and you're just thinking, okay, just take a breath of air and stop. How are we pricing this? Yeah. Where are we trying to go with this one? I know you want to invent 75 items tomorrow morning. Stop. I know you want to pay for 800 million bags. Stop.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I love it. I love that you bought 30,000 bags right off the get-go.
I bought 20,000. No, I bought 20,000 cups at first. I filled that order for 7-Eleven, not realizing you have to wait for the second one to come in. So I thought, I'm going to get the second one. There's no way I'm not getting the second one.
Why wouldn't you?
So I ordered another 20,000. Second one didn't come because the packaging wasn't correct. The packaging didn't work. So they're like, you've got to work on your packaging. This packaging is not what we were looking for. Oh yeah, and
I've got 20,000 coming.
They just got auctioned off. I had to unload them out of a garage. I'm like, just take them. Somebody auctioned them off for a couple $100. I'm like,
I think that's where I met you. I think there was, and I think I remember you were very elusive because you started talking about this packaging and we ordered, and I think I kept pressing you. So is the package coming? Do you have it? And you wouldn't answer because I think you could tell I was going to get angry. And I kept pushing you, and I thought, like, seriously, child, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Honestly, I love it so much.
Oh no, Kenny and I would sit there at the drive. He's like, your cost. I'm like, well, it's around here. I think it's about this. I'm not really sure. Kenny would get his book out. He goes, seriously, what is I'm like, I don't really know how much margin. How do you figure that out? Like, exactly. I'm not really, because it was intrinsic. Everything was intrinsic for me. At that point, I've learned. I'm like, I've got to start paying bills. I didn't realize the bills come later, right? So
yeah.
It was like, I don't need to tell anybody. I would just meet Kenny. Like I said, my friends didn't find out, honestly, till one night we had too much wine. And they're like, what's been going on with you? I'm like, and till 3 a.m, I went off and told them the whole story. And
that's a cool story. You know what the cool part of the story
is? It's a super cool story.
Is that you outside, it was a little scattered approach, which is typical entrepreneur. So you're not abnormal. Maybe ordering things 3-4 times is a little bit abnormal. That's okay. But it's one of those ones, though, persistency, like keep going. And then trying to meet the right people. Like, not that I was the right person, but connecting with Perrine, right person. Yeah. Getting to Horizon. You're still with Horizon, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yes,
right people. So it's those connections that are critical to learn sooner than later. Yeah. Right? You got some extra chances that you probably normal people wouldn't necessarily get. Like, you screw up a lot of drugs once, you're pretty much dead. 7-Eleven giving you a chance, Whole Foods, like, thank you. Luckily, I mean, again, I think it's a testament to you because you're that nice. So I think people are willing to go out and try to help, but that's not the norm, my dear. Like, it really isn't. That's not
even
not
close.
how the game does not play
even
this
close.
way. Like, you don't realize you've had a lot of good luck, obviously driven by you as well. But sometimes that's how the game plays. But so where are you now?
It's highly unusual. Yeah.
It's highly
unusual.
Oh my God.
So, but sometimes not knowing is better. Sometimes when you're starting something off.
It can be, as long as you can afford the losses.
No. No, listen, I need to pay the bills. Okay.
Wow, 30,000 bags, 20,000 cups.
No. But here's the thing. So I think at the beginning, because I wasn't doing it, the reason I started this and the reason I was doing this was, like I said, it was intrinsic. It was something that, for me, okay, so I know that for the average person, including probably my husband, anybody else would think that, okay, I can't believe that you're okay with 30,000 bags. You ordered all this. Who orders this? Or I took a loss here and I took a loss here. I didn't share those stories with anybody. And the reason I didn't share any of that, and I'm on your show today, I'm sharing, is because for me, those are still successes. To me, it's like I learned something.
Still milestones.
Yeah, like I mean, I learned something, and I
those are the first steps.
Had I not ordered those, I wouldn't have challenged myself.
Absolutely.
To maybe throwing that bag into Richards at the CHFA show.
Right.
Right. So to me, it's still like, it still is a success for me. So it wasn't necessarily monetary. Now, don't get me wrong, please. Monetary is very important. But when you're first starting out, you think, oh, here's a few $100 here for it. It's okay. These are big businesses. But I didn't realize, it all adds up later on. Kenny will attest to that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
So for me, my story is all about, it was just and I don't want to use the word failure, but every challenge that I met along the way, for some people may have seen, wow, you didn't really see that through, or it didn't really get where it wanted to. Like even for 7-Eleven, for example, the first one I did.
Mm-hmm.
Most people say, wow, too bad you didn't get the second one. I'm thinking, I got the first one. Like,
yeah.
I'm like,
more than what most
yeah, for me, like, I don't need, and I'm from home. I work and I just started from home, and it's just a matter of that. I just kept opening doors. So if I had a little opening, and I'm talking about a crack, I peeked through that crack. I looked through every single door along the way. And I looked through too many, and Kenny, I think that's where Kenny was getting frustrated with me. He's like, stop, like, you keep opening. And I was just, the places I've been and the people I've met, sometimes I'd come home at the end of the day and I'd be like, oh my God, what a great story. Like, that is so cool. And to me, that was...
No, it's a cool story. It really is. Like,
that was it for me. That was the pinnacle. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. Like, I can't believe I met so-and-so through this process, or I learned this through this process. They may not remember me, but I remember them. I certainly remember.
Oh, I'm sure they remember you, my dear. I'm sure they remember you. Yeah. You're hard to forget.
So this is, I mean,
in all
this is really cool.
ways.
Okay, good.
Come on, it's super cool. So if you look back now,
like
if you look back and you say, okay, because there's got to be things you would have done, you would do differently. So what would you do differently? Or what can you have? A lot of our listeners are like you 4 years ago. Not too sure, have an idea. You had a passion for this because you had some family health issues. This was a good cause. You wanted to do what you wanted to do. But what would you do differently? What's a couple good learnings you got out of this?
There's a neat push and pull here, right? Like you know what?
I'm not sure I would do anything differently, Ken. I actually don't know if I would do anything differently, because I don't think I would have learned. You need to learn from your mistakes.
Right.
And I think along the way, because I've only been in the business for about 4 years, I guess 2020. Yeah. COVID doesn't really help. So I don't really count this, but a good 3.5 years, right? 4 years, let's just say 4 years. I'm not sure if I would have done it differently. I would still have opened every single door, every single possibility. I would have liked to have differently. I would have liked to have met you earlier. I'm not going to lie.
That's sweet, but okay.
Yeah, no, but it's the truth, right? It's the truth. But I think that the way that for me, who I am in personality, and I love meeting people, I still would tell anybody who's starting any business is open every single door that presents. It could be the smallest little one, little crack. You see a little crack, just open and see what's behind there, right? And just go with that, because that door may lead to more, another door and another door and another opportunity, because they're just different opportunities. Some of them will be challenges, but you're only going to learn from those. So I did that, and I think, and I continue to, and maybe I'm not as much as I did, because I learned to slow down. One thing I would do differently, maybe take a deep breath.
But I think that's more of what I'm asking you. I think you think of someone think of it. There's a Simrit listening to the show that's 4 years before this Simrit that we're talking to right now. And she or he is going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to order 30,000 bags. I got blah, 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 and all over the place. Like, what are you telling them? Are you telling them to develop a business plan, or do you tell them to go find a fill? Do you? Yeah, I am actually no.
Kenny.
Business plan?
Yeah,
no.
Find a fill.
You know what? I not the business plan, because I didn't have one. And I think when you're first starting out, you don't even know what it is. I had no clue what a business plan was. And that was more stressful. Then I started Googling all that. And, we all do that. I'm like, what is a business plan? I didn't have any business goals at that point. I was just like I said, it came over.
You're having fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just having fun. I would say if you're passionate about it and you're, don't give up. And what would I do differently? Oh man, what would I do differently? I wish I would have had a mentor earlier. I would have had a mentor.
Fair enough.
I wish I had a mentor earlier. Yeah, that's what I would say. You need somebody in the business or somebody who's already been in the business to help mentor you along the way.
I think that's probably good advice.
It is very good.
It really is.
It is what changes the direction and for your business is having the mentor, not the business plan, but the mentor. I think we all need one, and because you have really opened my eyes to everything that's involved. Forget the packaging that I was able to do. I have the product and I can package it, but there's so many layers in between that and actually getting retail, right? The retailer, and those are the missing pieces. And I would say find a mentor that's already in the business that can help mentor you.
To me, the one that I think I see out of entrepreneurs that I don't know about you, Kenny. So I won't speak for you, but the thing I'm always, we talk to a lot of people that have great ideas, right? And we say on the podcast all the time, a great idea does not make a product, right? It doesn't make, I think to me, so to me, I think you want to find Simrit's 30,000 bags. Like we laughed about that, but to me, that is the commit point that, you went, look, you crossed the line. I'm committing, I'm buying the bags, I'm in, right? But it's a funny thing, right? Like you maybe you saw it and maybe you didn't, right? Like to you, that was a line you had to cross. I think I see a lot of entrepreneurs that want to cross that line, but won't cross that line. I don't know if I'm not saying to everybody you should go out and buy 30,000 bags. I don't think that's it. But you do need that symbolic commitment, right? Because like I'll know it, right? Like when I'm talking to you, if you're not all in, I'll know you're not all in. And then I'll react accordingly with, well, okay, if you're not all in, you're going to be more cautious. Maybe you need to spend more time on the plan. I think what works for you is you went, this is my threshold. I'm crossing it. I'm gone, right? And so even when it sounds like when Kenny showed up, Kenny went, whoa, she's committed. So let me just, I'm going to,
it's a different approach.
You're moving at breakneck speed, but you're all tangled up. So maybe I can just cut a couple of lines for you and get you,
because moving faster. You want her to run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Run in a direction.
Yeah.
Get the shackles off. Again, it's unbridled enthusiasm is awesome, and the fact that you commit is awesome. But you've got to commit smartly.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do. You have to look at it, and you do have to sit down and make some decisions.
But at the end of the day.
But you got to commit. At the end of the day, nobody's going to stop you from going, right? Because if you really want to go, you're a grown woman. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But what you want to do is try. You're going to fall, and that's the only way to learn how to walk. You have to fall. You don't need to break a neck, a back, smash a nose. Like you can just maybe skin a knee. 20 times.
That's enough. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? That's sort of where I think you've got to. What you're trying to do for people is get them to that place. I think that's why you're a great story, because I think you come from, you did it, probably has some horseshoes up your ass on this one, because typically it doesn't really work this way, quite frankly, right? But that's a testament to you, and that's all good in the hood. But it's trying to, there's going to be a time where you're going to have a lot of young men or women come up to you and say, wow, I mean, how did you do it? Like what did you do? What would you do? And now you're in a position of much more power and authority to say, okay, you know what? This is how I did it. You know what? It worked for me, but maybe this is what I would suggest if I was doing this again. You're still going to be Simrit. You're going to do Simrit things.
Yeah. But
potentially just a little different way. But that's learning, right?
Yeah.
It's super cool.
I think one of the main things is when you're starting off, And I'm still starting off, you guys. I'm not, I've got lots of work to do ahead of me, but taking risks, you have to be able to take a risk and take a chance and be okay with whatever the outcome is.
That's entrepreneurs though. That's inbred in us.
It's an emotional roller coaster. Like
Sure.
you get the highs and lows, and the lows are the ones that's hard to come back from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's those ones where you just think this is it. And like I said, those are a couple of them. One day I say I'm going to write a book. It's just too funny. But there's more stories. But it's those lows that just sort of like, oh my God, and picking yourself up again and saying, okay, here we go. Let's try it again. And for me, that I've been having to pick myself up and just sort of like, okay, no, I can do this. It can get better.
Yeah.
I want to allude to something you just finished, sort of talked about quickly, because we've been talking about this obviously for the last 5 months because it's all consuming. You were saying that COVID, you wouldn't look at this year as sort of the year because of COVID. So what has COVID done to Simrit?
To Simrit or Treatsmart?
Pick.
I'll choose.
Sometimes they're the same, right?
Okay. Well, no, it's not. Actually, that's a very good question. So let me start off with, let me see. Do Treatsmart and I'll come back to Simrit. Actually,
okay.
So for Treatsmart, what happened was, oh man. So after the CFHA show, which I had my own booth this year, guys, I was not walking around with a double bag.
You graduated.
It was a big accomplishment. Okay.
And it might be the last one too.
Oh God, I know.
It might be.
COVID, man. The trade shows might be dead.
Oh man,
yeah.
No idea. That show was so good to me. So good, because I love meeting people. I met the right people. I came out of there like, this is it. And I was emailing everybody, and it was just, things were percolating. Like it was just right there and bubbling. And I had some really good interest from many different retailers, etc. And all of a sudden, COVID hit. So I was supposed to be at even 7-Eleven had me, I'm going to say this because I thank them. And this is kind of my shout out to them, is they had this emerging brands, and they were going to vote for one. They invited me along with 4 others at their expo.
Nice.
But COVID, you're asking about Treatsmart, right? So
yeah.
COVID hit. So I was like, oh my God, and I just wanted to meet people. So for me, it was like meeting people. I'm like, wow, that was so cool, right? Another trade show was, there's a few trade shows, few meetings that came up that just didn't pan through. So yeah, it was difficult. And then all of a sudden the sales dropped, and then stores shut down, the POs weren't coming in. The only thing that was my saving grace is because I have great people I work with. So I'm not staffing them myself personally. So for me, it was like, I just have to weather the storm of COVID, really, and I'm just trying, it's survival, and it's everybody. And it's not personal for me. It's the whole world. And it's just very sad situation. I feel my heart goes out to even bigger companies who can't survive, right? Because they have many more costs, and maybe I won't by the end of the year. There's no guarantees on anything, but I am really trying my best to weather the storm. And with local support, of course.
Are the sales still there? Are you still selling?
It's there. Like I said, these guys, TGX has been good home sense winners. They took me up again. So they just opened up their stores. Right. So they've been good. And so people have been good, and I've been in contact with them, but it's not what it was pre-COVID, of course. Right. But it's good. It's fine. I'm not going to, I know there's all sorts of stories out there, so it's not about.
Will you sell online? Will you think about that, or kind of moving online?
So
or
they are going online. There's a distributor actually out east, LCG, and they just picked me up a few weeks ago.
Okay.
So they're going to be doing it on Amazon and selling online. So actually, it's already out there.
Perfect.
I'll find out in a couple of months how it did, and so they're going to tell me.
It'll do well.
Yeah. So they put it out east online.
I feel like the online play for you. Like the online play is a great play for a lot of people, but going the way we're going with the nutritional offering that you're providing, COVID-19 can't last, right? Like COVID-19 can't last, right? Like you just can't, you can't keep eating the same way. And so this stuff's going to start to really matter, I think.
I think so. So
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
So I am, and I'm always on to something. Like there's always something that I'm working on. So Kenny's smiling. So I am working on something. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut and talk to Kenny at the drive.
You don't want me to give you shit online, is what you're saying. You want to do it privately.
Kenny, I'm going to be more than 30,000 bags, I think.
Oh, Simrit. Oh my God.
Okay, so that's that. So
okay.
like I'm holding on to that. Treatsmart for Simrit. It's been really COVID for Simrit. I'm a very social person with friends. Love being with my friends and family and just meeting and people and out there. And COVID's been good because it's given me time to sort of take a deep breath. So I had to readjust, slow things down, I didn't mind spending time at home. I liked it. It was good. Did all the COVID stuff that everybody else has been doing. I started off with being super mom. I got this in my back pocket, cooking, cleaning, homeschooling, teaching, all that stuff, and then there's a meme out there what the mom looks like after 2 months. That was pretty much me. But it's been good because I'm smiling and laughing because you know what, you got to make the most of it. It's not a good situation, but you know what, I'm trying to look at it a bit more positive. I'm seeing all the positive things about COVID and kind of removing myself from the negative at the time.
There's a lot of positive that's going to come out of this. That, right?
There's actually a lot of things.
There will be a lot of positives. I think the fact that we actually all have slowed down.
Yeah.
Your connections are probably deeper than they were prior.
Absolutely.
For business, you're going to think a little differently, think a little smarter. Online, to Phil's point, is going to be huge. Your retail partners that you have, you should be pursuing their online platforms.
Yeah.
So whether it's Spud or Spud's
I am online with Spud. That's right.
But Spud's online. But Sabon does online. London does online. I know you're not in London Drugs at this particular moment.
Hopefully.
But that's how you do it, right? And you've teamed up. You got a good team. Perrine is awesome. The Horizon Group is awesome. But you got a lot of good people that are on your side. So that's most of the battle, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a cool story.
It's such a
little
cool
chaotic,
story.
But it's a cool story.
It's such a cool story. No, I love it. I love it so much. It's just like there's so many pieces in here that are amazing. The tangible commitment from you, all the way through
crazy.
to it's amazing.
Honestly.
Really, it's amazing. And then honestly, these retailers that are picking up local, it just is such a huge difference. Like the story the other way is just so terrible, right? Like it is.
And that's where the shout out to 7-Eleven.
I was just going to say that shout out is all the ones that are supporting us local small business. We can't do it without their support. We just want to appreciate it. And all the customers out there that buy local, huge shout out to you. Thank you very much. It's people like us that are able to do what we're doing because we are small businesses. We're learning along the way. So huge thank you from the bottom of our heart to everybody who supports, from the retailers to the customers.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Simrit, if people want to find you, they can go to, I guess, Treatsmart. So it's TREATSMART.ca.
No. Wait.
Is that right?
So that's a whole different story, but that's another show. Why it's Treatsmart. And my hashtag says Treatsmarts. Okay, that'll be changing.
Okay.
That's the episode in the fall, Phil.
Okay, I've got a lot of episodes. Right chapters. I messed that up too. Okay.
Okay.
So, second packaging got messed up. Okay, so if you want to find me, you got to go to Treatsmarts. Okay.
Plural. Okay. Got it. You're right. There's a little S in there. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I'll put the so if you're listening to this episode and you want to find Treatsmarts, click on the link in the podcast episode. I'll make sure I get it right.
And you're on Instagram. You can find you on Instagram.
But I'm looking for more. You were supposed to ask me what's the future of. I'm looking for more branding awareness.
Yes.
If you follow Treatsmarts, I'd really appreciate that. For some reason, I just all that. I'm on hashtag Treatsmarts as well.
Okay.
Are you on LinkedIn as well? That's personally on LinkedIn or anything like that? If someone wants to talk to you about your story, or maybe you might be in a mentoring position yourself one day.
Oh, I'm in LinkedIn as well. Yes, under Simrit.
Okay. And we'll put all of Simrit's contact details, LinkedIn, and then the Instagram and website in the show notes. So if you're in there, just click on those and we'll it'll link to Simrit. So this is an awesome story. Thank you for coming on.
You are a rock star.
Yeah, you really are.
You guys. Guys.
I think you're cool. I think I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of you in this.
Super cool.
You know what? You've got gumption. You're persistent. Good for you, man. Like seriously, you should be proud of yourself.
Oh, thanks, guys.
It's pretty cool.
I had a really fun time actually.
Oh, good.
I had to go to yoga before this, to calm my nerves.
Well, it's because there's really people listening. The live,
that's so cute. You're nervous to come on our podcast.
I was. So I had to calm my nerves.
Who's nervous of coming on our podcast? Like, come on.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
and I didn't want to tell you that
so
basically we weren't live. I told Phil, I said, we should just play with her. Just
live. He was talking about torturing you. Yeah.
Oh, I would have died. No, seriously. I just would have. Yeah.
No, there's no edits, just so you know. So whatever you said is on, but it comes out Monday night.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to stop talking while I'm bad.
It's amazing. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Thanks,
fantastic.
guys.
Simrit, thank you.
We'll
chat soon.
Okay.
Chat soon. All right.
Coffee soon.
Okay.
Coffee soon.
Take care.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Bye.
Ciao.
Okay. Bye. She's fantastic.
She's a riot. I mean, you know what it is? It's hard because she's younger, so she's like one of the kids. And whether it's like when you talk to Richard, when we talk to Richard next week, it's the boy side and the girl side, but they're just so full of blah, right? They've got gumption and they just like she balls to the wall. Right? Like, I mean, she's nuts.
Yeah.
So when I met her, I was telling her, I said, okay, fuck, you got to take a breath of air.
Yeah.
Because I said, you're getting me anxious.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot. But I told her, I said, I'm not going to stop you from doing stuff, but you've got to take a breath and just slow it down. Like, you got a great idea, great product. Just breathe for a second. Let's find a spot.
Yeah.
Right. But you look at her. I mean, she opens. I mean, I shit you not. I don't know anybody who's opened as many doors as this girl has. Like, she's a freak. Like, she's persistent.
Come on. Like, it's just like, we keep finding these guys that are just doing amazing things. I mean, like, we've had folks that, 6 years and 20,000 doors. Like, she made a recipe.
Jake who's bouncing off the walls. This one's bouncing.
She made a recipe and she went out and found buyers. Like, what the
fuck, man? Like, who does that? You go to a show with
nobody
samples,
does
buyers
that.
wanting to talk to you.
Nobody.
Come on.
Nobody does that.
It's a great story.
Amazing.
It's a great story.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And I do love the fact, just because she's got so much enthusiasm. So much enthusiasm.
Yeah, she's all there. It's really cool. It's really cool, man.
Very good.
Amazing.
Yeah. I got nothing else for you.
Thanks, buddy.
No, my pleasure.
No, I got nothing else. I will bug you probably midweek next week because Open Phone, Dorina from Open Phone wants to come on the show, so we'll find some time for her as well.
We have Richard Lote.
We got Richard next week.
Tuesday, right?
Yeah, next Tuesday.
People will really like him too. Richard's a really good shit. Really nice man.
Yeah,
really nice
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I sent you another one too, because Juanita is going to come on the show. I sent it to you but I sent it to you during your 6-hour drive.
I'm not going to bring that up because I don't want to say anything about my daughter online, whom I love dearly, but she knows I want to kill her half the time, but that's okay. That's a different story. Fucking kids.
Anyway, it's why I'm not making eye contact.
Just leave me alone. Next topic.
Anyway, Juanita Morris as well. She's pretty cool. So we got a couple of pretty interesting guests.
There's some, it's awesome. It's very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah.
I'm happy about this one too. That's awesome. Okay, my friend, we shall chat with you Tuesday afternoon.
You got it.
Have a lovely weekend.
You too.
And we'll chat soon.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
So,
okay.
Ciao.
See ya.